In a quiet coastal city, where mornings arrived gently and the sea breathed against the shore, lived a young woman named Lian. Lian worked in an old library, a warm place filled with wooden shelves, soft sunlight, and the calm whisper of turning pages. She moved quietly, spoke softly, and carried a silence that felt older than her years. Inside her heart, there was a space she never talked about, a space shaped by loneliness. One autumn evening, the library doorbell chimed, a gentle sound, like a small wind chime moving in the breeze. When Lian looked up, she saw him. A man, calm, thoughtful, carrying a quiet presence that softened the room. His name was Omar. He simply asked about stories, poems, books from faraway places. And when Lian spoke, he listened, truly listened, as if her voice mattered. Days passed, weeks passed, and Omar kept returning, sometimes with a book in his hand, sometimes with a gentle smile, and sometimes just with a question that opened long, warm conversations between the shelves. Lian began to wait for the sound of the doorbell, for his voice, for the way he made the air around her feel less heavy, less lonely. Without noticing, she began weaving invisible threads, threads of hope, threads of longing, threads that felt warm, comforting, almost like a home she had been missing. But attachment grows quietly, and it can hurt quietly too. Lian started thinking about him late at night, wondering what he was doing, worrying about the days he didn't come, fearing that he might stop showing up altogether. She told herself it was nothing, just a small crush, just a passing feeling. But her heart whispered a different truth. One afternoon, Omar arrived with tired eyes, a softness in his expression, mixed with something heavier. He told her he would be leaving soon, traveling, for months. His voice was gentle, his words were careful, but they fell on her heart like rain in winter. Lian smiled politely, nodded, acted calm, acted strong. But inside, something folded. Something small and hopeful broke. When he left that evening, the library felt colder. Every shadow seemed longer, and every moment more silent. And so, the days began without Omar. Lian arranged books, helped visitors, closed and opened the library. But she moved like she was carrying a weight nobody could see. The invisible threads she had woven now pulled at her, tight, uncomfortable, leaving her with a sadness she didn't know how to name. Yet in that heavy silence, something began to rise. A small truth, a quiet realization. She understood that her attachment to Omar was not only about him. It was about the parts of herself she had abandoned, the warmth she was searching for in someone else because she couldn't find it within. So she made a choice. She started writing again, joined a local book club, took long morning walks by the sea, where the world felt wide and open. She learned photography, capturing moments of light she had never noticed before. With each day, she reclaimed a small part of herself, her voice, her quiet strength, her softness that no longer felt like weakness. The empty space inside her began to fill, not with someone else, but with her own presence. Months passed. Then, one afternoon, the bell above the library door chimed again, a familiar sound, a familiar warmth. Omar stood there, smiling gently, as if no time had passed, yet everything had changed. They talked, laughed softly, shared stories. But for the first time, Lian's heart felt light. No fear, no longing, only peace. Omar looked at her carefully and said, "You feel different, stronger, calmer." Lian smiled with a quiet confidence, a confidence she had grown slowly, patiently from within. And she answered, "I didn't become someone new. I just came back to myself." That evening, as she locked the library and stepped outside, the sunset painted the sky in gold. The sea breathed gently. The world felt open again, and within her chest, there was peace. A peace earned, a peace owned, a peace no longer tied to someone else. Because sometimes, the most powerful love is the one we learn to give ourselves.